49ers with the ball at their own 21-yard line. Steve Young, the quarterback. First and 10. Young to Brent Jones. Out to the 39-yard line. Stopped by Hopkins. Good protection again.
And that's a key thing, because Steve Young has the receivers, and he can do it if he gets the pass protection. Watch Reggie White here. He gets a pretty good block there by Harris Barton. He's going to get a little push, but they gave Steve Young time to get rid of that ball. You talk about a guy who has a long day. It's a guy that has to block Reggie White. And for most of the time, that's going to be number 79, Harris Barton, today. Sometimes he goes in the middle. Right now he's on the outside. And Harris Barton is happy when he goes in the middle. Waters bounces outside, past the 40 up to about the 44. Stopped by Booty, a gain of 5. Did you see Tom Rathman make that block on Reggie White? Here's Reggie White here. Now watch what's going to happen. As we look at the thing here, watch Tom Rathman, one of the best blocking backs in football. He comes there, Reggie's up, boom, he just puts that hit right there in that outside leg, takes him down, and that gives Ricky Waters that corner. You know, when they say Tom Rathman is a good blocker, it doesn't just mean that he blocks little guys. When you take on Reggie White and take him down, you have taken down a load. Rathman is not a little guy himself. Here's Young. Behind Waters. Incomplete. Right now, let's send you back to New York for an NFL update.
All right, Pat, at Anaheim, Jim Everett from the 17-yard line finds Flipper Anderson. Nice grab in the end zone. 17 yards and a 7-7 tie. Rams and the Vikings in the first quarter, Pat.
Up the coast in San Francisco. The 49ers leading at 7-0 over the Eagles. Reggie White's looking and say, where did that Tom Rathman come from? I knew he was a good blocker, but I didn't know he was that good. He did it perfectly. He got underneath him, and he took out that outside leg so that Ricky Waters could get outside. They need 5. Waters will not get anything. Maybe a yard. Byron Evans. Clyde Simmons combined to stop him. Yeah, that's an interesting thing. They came back and tried to run the same play. I think that Steve Young is so hot that I don't know that you have to run on third down. I think that the way his pass protection is, the way he's completing stuff, they could keep throwing the ball. Ricky Waters looked like he hurt his left shoulder on that play. He's in pain from something. Wilmsmeyer back to punt. Sikahema back deep. He'll let it bounce, and the 49ers down it at about the 17. 38-yard punt. Little scramble as one of the Eagles Sikahema tried to field it after the 49ers had relaxed to no avail. Here's Ricky Waters right here. Byron Evans is going to come in here, and he puts his helmet right on his shoulder, his left shoulder. Watch the hit right there. I think that's the thing that Waters was trying to shake off. This is Heath Sherman. Stopped by Mike Walter after a gain of 4. Cunningham, in the meantime, is 2 out of 6. There's Waters. Whatever the problem was with his shoulder seems to be okay now. Especially when the guy talking to him is the offensive line coach, Bob McKittrick. He's there, you know, offensive line coaches work a lot with the running backs too, because Bob McKittrick is primarily responsible for the running game of the 49ers. Second down. Cunningham in the pocket. Complete. Calvin Williams. First down, Eagles. Yeah, that's what Randall Cunningham was saying last night. He said that, you know, that they've been going to their backs and tight ends and buyers and stuff. He said he has to get the ball downfield, and he has to get the ball to his outside receivers. He just did then to Calvin Williams. And then the guy on the other side, Fred Barnett, is one of the best deep threats in the National Football League. And they just aren't getting the ball to him enough.
They are both left this time, Williams and Barnett. And Cunningham rolls in that direction. Gets it out to Walker. Out of bounds after a 2-yard gain.
Yeah, this is one of the new things that the Eagles put in for this game, and I think to help Randall Cunningham and to get some of his confidence back. They haven't done a lot of this rollout. And this is what Richie Kotek was saying, where the quarterback, instead of dropping back like this, he comes out and he rolls in behind his back and throws the ball from out here. So you're moving the quarterback, you're moving the backs, you're flooding this zone. You see, there's 4 receivers between the numbers and the sideline, so you roll towards the flood.
They only got a yard, 2nd and 9. Cunningham the begin. Barnett this time, and that should be enough for a first. Dana Hall made the stop. The Redskins got on track. They got a couple of people back, Lachey and Darrell Green. And those Saints, you don't hear much about them, as John Madden said, but they're one of the better teams.
See that record of Bobby Hebert's like 15-0 against the AFC team?
Yeah.
When he was a free agent, an AFC team should have signed him.
First down, Eagles. Handoff is to Heath Sherman. And Sherman gets across the 45, stopped by Tim Harris, a gain of 3.
Yeah, that's one of the changes that the Eagles made by starting Heath Sherman and moving Keith Byers to tight end. And it was kind of Byers' idea to get the best players on the field. You know, he said Heath Sherman has a hot hand and he ought to be in there more. So when they were playing Byers and Herschel Walker, that kept Sherman on the bench. By Byers moving to tight end, they could play both Walker, Sherman, and Byers.
2nd and 6. That's Walker. Herschel up to about the 48. Romanowski made the stop. Only a pickup of a yard.
Get the feeling that the Eagles, Pat, ought to be throwing more to the wide receivers. That, you know, when they go to that dinking stuff, you know, like the screens and the short passes, they haven't been successful at that. And the thing where Cunningham does look confident, standing back there and zipping that ball to Calvin Williams and Fred Barnett. They ought to do more of that.
3rd and 5. They'll have a chance right now. They have 4 wide receivers. That's a heck of a catch by Jeff Seidner. Now they say no. I heard the Eagles screaming nice catch, but unfortunately they got on their own colored shirts.
And Randall Cunningham threw a fastball on this one. And we talk about, you can see the ball inside and it was in his hands. Then as he came down, the ball did hit the ground. Watch him again, he's the outside receiver. He's working against Eric Davis. The Eagles are really having trouble with their footing. I mean, it seems like on both offense and defense, they have slipped a heck of a lot.
Eagles into the end zone, and they'll bring it back to the 20. 49ers leading 7-0 with 9 seconds left to play in the first quarter.
One of the problems the visiting team has is not knowing the field. That's why I know when I coached, I used to always like to go in a day early and practice the day before in the field for just one reason, just to get used to your shoes, just to get the right shoes, to get used to the turf, decide what shoes you're going to wear, because that's such a big part of being able to play this game.
I know going back to Thanksgiving Day, Emmitt Smith, as a matter of fact, changed shoes a number of times because that field back in Dallas was starting to freeze. And he searched for a long time to get the correct pair of shoes.
He had like 4 or 5 pair of shoes, and they were the home team.
Young's pass is batted down by Byron Evans.
And Reggie White was right there in his face, too. I think that Reggie didn't hit him that time, but I think that he wanted Steve Young to know he was there. Remember earlier we showed that Ricky Waters where he got that left shoulder hit when Byron Evans, a middle linebacker, hit him. They're taking him now into the locker room probably for an x-ray.